Are you serious? Are you serious, Kim Jong-un? What? Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Get a cup of coffee. We're going to go right into it. We got to talk about North Korea and their new ambitions. North Korea has moved missiles and warns the army is now cleared to wage nuclear war. That's right on the front page of the Times of Israel this morning. I want to thank Penny for getting this to me this morning. The North Korean army has warned Washington, D.C. today, Thursday, April 4th, 2013, that its army has been cleared to wage an attack using smaller, lighter, diversified nuclear weapons. I say it again. The North Korean army warned Washington, D.C. today, April 4th, 2013, that its military has been cleared to wage an attack using the smaller and lighter and diversified nuclear weapons. Now, as you guys know, and I'll finish the article, but as you know, of the 12 prophecies that the Lord gave me on New Year's Eve for the year 2013, one of them is there would be unrest in Asia. And then about 6 weeks ago, as I was praying, the Lord spoke to me and said, Kim Jong-un is not the little boy that cries wolf. He is going to do something. He's going to do something. Ask the people to pray that his weapon fails. And I'm just wondering now, is this the weapon? Is this the weapon? Because the Lord didn't tell me exactly what the weapon was. Just said, pray that his weapon fails. And here it is. The North Korean army has warned Washington, D.C. that its military has been cleared to wage an attack using a smaller, lighter, and diversified nuclear weapon. Now, the statement came shortly before the North Korean army began moving a medium-range missile to the country's eastern coast. According to the South Korean news agency, the missile with a 3,000-kilometer range is capable of hitting South Korea, Japan, and Guam, may be meant as a show of strength by the regime there in North Korea. The threat from the unnamed army spokesman earlier today, was the latest in a series of escalating warnings from North Korea, which has railed for weeks against the joint U.S.-South Korean military exercises taking place in South Korea and has expressed anger over the tightened sanctions for its February nuclear test. The spokesman said in a statement carried by Korean central news agencies that the troops have been authorized to counter U.S. aggression with a powerful, practical military and counteractions, including nuclear weapons. Earlier in the day, the Pentagon said it would set up a missile shield in the Pacific against an attack by North Korea. The delivery of this missile shield system in Guam comes as Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel labels North Korea's recent rhetoric as a real, clear danger and a threat to the United States of America and its Asia-Pacific allies. The Pentagon chief said the U.S. is doing all it can do to defuse the situation. Deployment of the Terminal High-Altitude Area Defense System is the latest step the U.S. has taken to bolster its forces in the region in a far-reaching show of force aimed at countering the North Korean threat. The Pentagon already has sent and dispatched bombers, stealth fighters, and ships. This thing is ratcheting up big time. And as we told you, Russia has moved 36 warships and a lot of planes, warplanes. They moved them into the Black Sea. Now, they didn't get over here into Asia, but they got in the Black Sea. They made some maneuvering. Some of that could be because of Syria. and what's going on there. But China has moved troops to the north, right on the border of North Korea. You know, and Stephen of Oklahoma called me yesterday. He said, you do know that there will be tidings from the north and from the east, as it says in Daniel chapter 11, during the verses of 41 through 45, which talks about unrest in the world, especially the Middle East or the Arab Spring. So and those tidings from the north and from the east shall trouble him, would be referencing to Russia and China. Now, tensions have escalated between North and South Korea in recent weeks. The communist North has vowed to increase the production of nuclear weapon materials and threatened a preemptive strike against the United States. North Korea's nuclear strike capabilities remain unclear. North Korea is believing to be working toward building an atomic bomb small enough to mount on a long-range missile, but is thought to be several years from being capable of mastering this technology. Hagel told an audience at the National Defense University that there is a path to peace on the troubled Korean peninsula, but it doesn't include making nuclear threats or taking provocative actions. So the land-based missile defense system includes a truck-mounted launcher, tracking radars, interceptor missiles, and integrated fire control systems. The Pentagon said the system will boost the defenses of the American citizens in Guam, U.S. territories, and U.S. forces stationed there. Now, as we speak, we do have about 28,000 military personnel in South Korea, just over the border from North Korea. So, folks, it's really ratcheting up. Tensions are getting high, and Jesus said it would be like this in the last days when he was asked about the signs of the ends of time, and he said that there would be a lot of stress. Nation would rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. He said that in Matthew 24. He also said this in Luke 21. He said, take heed that you be not deceived, in verse 8. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, which certainly we have going on right now, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So even though we're living in this apocalyptic age, even though we're on the brink of the beast and the edge of eternity, we still need to keep our faith strong in the Word of God and in the power of His might. See, it's not by our might, nor by our power, but by His Spirit, thus saith the Lord. And we are not our own anymore. We've been bought with a price, and that price was paid at Calvary. So even though North Korea raises its ugly head against the free world, America's biggest enemies really lie within, not without. We have allowed the enemy in the camp to try to absolutely destroy our culture from the inside, rottenness to the core. And this is the areas we have to also keep a guard on. And as a clergy, any of you that are involved in the ministry, you're on the front line. Don't go run away and hide. Don't go into some fluffy, puffy, marshmallow fantasy land with your gospel message. Stand up and preach the truth. Show the people the signs that are happening. Tell them that there is wars and rumors of wars. Tell them that birds are falling from the sky. Fish are washing up on the banks. Cattle are falling over dead. As it says in the Hosea prophecy, chapter 4, verses 1, 2, and 3. Explain to them of the great signs in the heavens and the comet Ison that's on its way, that will light up brighter than any star in the sky. They're going to ask you what it means. Do you have a clue? And also, oh, by the way, go ahead and put your altars back in your churches. Start giving altar calls again. Start asking people if they want to be born again. And, Pastor, if you're not saved, can I ask you, be born again. Give your life to Christ and understand the power of God. We're living in a very dangerous time. Give your life to Jesus Christ. This is the last days.